Welcome to you all in this online class. Today, the topic of our discussion is the revolt of 1857, but it is also known as the First War of Independence. Some slides have already been discussed, right? Now, so I will resume my work from the next one. This slide had already been discussed yesterday. Next, why it was called the First War of Independence. These 5 points were already discussed. Next slides, next topic, this one. And it is very important part of your chapter. It has the importance from the examination point of view also, because many years this type of question has been asked in your examination, and question pattern was in different way. Actually, the state question regarding this topic generally comes, explain the causes of the revolt, mention the or explain the political causes of the revolt. In other way, it is asked, why politically Indians were dissatisfied against the British rule. Can you explain the main facts? Next, political discontentment was the main reason of the revolt of 1857. So this type of different questions are asked, right? Different types of question is asked. So you should learn it, and you should be very attentive in the class. You have to explain in very short, especially in your examination, about the political causes of the revolt. First, you will have to know the revolt of politically people were dissatisfied with British rule within 100 years, and it was an outcome of the such deep resentment, I mean dissatisfaction, reaction, okay, reaction. So first reason is what? Politically people were very dissatisfied, and which why it outbusted in 1857. Or you can take help of this line also. It was an outcome of deep resentment, widespread resentment, dissatisfaction against the British rule of Indians. In short, in other way also you can write, people were politically dissatisfied and they reacted at a time in 1857. Second one, Indian sepoys, I mean Indian soldiers, were not treated well by the British, I mean Europeans or British officers as well as their colleagues. They always used to feel inferiority before them, and so they wanted to protest their rule, and it is why they reacted in 1850s. In one or two line, how will you explain this one, this second point? Indian sepoys or soldiers were not treated well by the European soldiers as well as their officers. They were very unhappy. That's sufficient. That is sufficient. Next, Indian rulers also were unhappy due to their personal scores, personal disputes or problems, and they opposed the British. You have not to explain what were the reason of their personal scores or disputes, but you should learn. There were some rulers whose kingdoms were to be annexed or taken away under British rule. There were some rulers whose pensions, there were some persons whose pensions were stopped by the British. Likewise, so many things were there. It is why they were annoyed with the British and they wanted to end their rule. These were the personal scores, personal disputes, problems, reason of dissatisfaction against the British rule. Next one, common people were also in those days in favor to end the British rule because due to their exploitation and destructive policies, people were unhappy. Is it clear? Common people were also ready to end the British rule because of the British unjust economic and political policies. बस एक एक लाइन में आपको लिखना है. Next है, another reason was the fear created by a policy named Doctrine of Lapse, adopted by Lord Dalhousie, British Governor General. Right? When you will write, when we will explain these points, this line is enough. One or two line is enough. There you have not to explain what was the doctrine of lapse, because question is not explain the doctrine of lapse. Question is explain the reason, political causes. I think you are understanding clearly. If you will explain the meaning of doctrine of lapse, your answer of this question, I mean political causes of the revolt, will be much longer and unsuitable. So you have to write only one or two lines. What you will write, I repeat. One of the political reason was fear created by the doctrine of lapse that was adopted by Lord Dalhousie. It was used to capture Indian territories. That's enough. Not more this line you have to explain. Now, you should listen what we mean by doctrine of lapse. Is it clear? Doctrine of lapse was a policy launched by Lord Dalhousie in India, according to which those kingdoms, Indian kingdoms, were to be annexed where there was no natural heir or succession of the kings. Here, natural heir or succession means the own son of the kings, right? And it created fear because in those periods there were 7 or 8 states where such rulers were there who had not their natural son. Actually, here natural son, what does it mean? Natural son means own son. And in those days, those who had no son, they used to adopt the son. They used to take the right to, they used to take other sons as their own son. This is called adoption. They used to adopt the son, and he was declared as the successor of the king or queen. This policy was stopped. This tradition was cancelled, lapsed by the British, and this policy was known as doctrine of lapse. I hope you have made out this thing. Doctrine of lapse was a policy introduced by Lord Dalhousie in India to annex, to add or capture the Indian territories, especially of those territories where the kings had not their natural succession or natural son or heir. One of the example is here, right? One of the example is here, Queen Lakshmi Bai, Rani Lakshmi Bai. She was the ruler of Jhansi. She had not her natural son. It is adopted son. Who is on the back of the queen was the adopted son. British did not allow to declare him as the ruler after his death, after her death, so that Jhansi could be annexed into the British Empire under the policy of doctrine of lapse, under the doctrine of lapse. So Queen Lakshmi Bai opposed it, and along with her, others also opposed, and they were against the British rule, and this became the reason of the revolt. Abhinav Ranjan, you have asked the question, doctrine. Doctrine means policy, theory, right? Now, next is greatest annexationist. Lord Dalhousie is called greatest annexationist because within 8 years of his office, he had annexed 9 states in British India. It is why this adjective is given to him. He was the greatest accessionist under the British rule. Right? Within 8 years of his office, he had annexed 9 states. Now, next cause is British was not true, right? Not true to the treaties with Indian kings. I mean, many treaties were many written compromise treaties. I mean, written compromise was made with Indian rulers, but when time came, British avoided the norms of treaties and took undue advantages from the Indian rulers. Even their kingdoms were also annexed, right? So it also created antagonism, I mean dissatisfaction, reaction against the British, right? So in this way, these were the main main political cause. One of you have asked me the meaning of lapse. Lapse means temporary failure, right? A brief or temporary failure of memory or judgment. Okay, I mean just like it is the cancellation or to declare something invalid. According to this policy, that tradition was regarding the adoption of son was declared invalid. Okay. Treaties, Treaties. Treaties means written compromise. Okay, now next is one of such treaty was called subsidiary alliance. Okay, subsidiary alliance. First, you have to learn it in this question format. What you will write as the region of the political reason of uh, revolt of 1857, you will write subsidiary alliance was also one of the region of revolt of 1857 because Indian kings were cheated, because their kingdoms were taken away by deceiving him. So they lost the trust in British and protested. It's clear. Subsidiary alliance, and by the help of subsidiary alliance, the king cheated Indian kings. They took their kingdom by force in the British Empire. The kings lost the trust and revolted against the British. This is the main reason. Now, you should learn what we mean by the subsidiary alliance. Actually, the alliance written friendship on some condition, alliance. Subsidiary alliance was a system according to which the British used to help the king, military help to Indian rulers on some condition, right? Subsidiary alliance was a political system of the British or political wage or step taken by the British according to which Indian Nawabs who wanted to seek help from the British used to sign the treaty. According to this treaty, the British used to give the military help. I mean, Europeans used to give the military help to such Nawabs on some condition. What was the condition? The Nawab, such Nawab or the Indian ruler, had to accept the permanent British army within his territory and had to pay money for them. I mean, had to pay subsidy to them. Third one was the king had to accept that one resident, British resident or European resident, would stay in his court, right? And Indian Nawabs were not allowed to do any foreign relation with anyone. I mean, Indian Nawabs were not allowed to set up any relation with any Europeans. Actually, this was not a true help. It was the deceit, cheating, because by doing the alliance with such rulers were made dependent on the British because their army was there. One person was in his court, just like the spy, who used to give all kinds of information. All types of weaknesses were told to the British. And after coming time in the favor of the British used to capture their area. And it happened also with the Nawab Wajid Ali Shah of Awadh. One time came when it was said the Nawab of Awadh is unable to rule the country or kingdom. So for better administration, Awadh will be annexed with British Empire, and Awadh was taken under the British Empire. Right? So all these happenings, all these incidents had made Indians politically dissatisfied, and all this became the real reason, political causes of the British, of the revolt of 1857. I hope you have understood well. In spite of it, I mean, in spite of explaining well, if you have any query, you can share. You can tell me through your chat box. So in this way, these are the main regions. One or two extra questions you have also learned here. What do you mean by shipway? What do you mean by doctrine of lapse? Right? What is subsidiary? What was subsidiary alliance? Right? So in this way, you have learned. Right? Very good. Adya, you have written, it was introduced by British in which British was providing military help to the Indian rulers on some conditions. Okay. Now next is this one. Economic causes. This was political. Next is economic causes. Here you know, when I have already trained you about the topic economic condition from class 6, 7, I have been giving these tips to the student. How will they write something about the economy if they forget the answer that they have learned at home? Now, right? First okay, one request of yours is to explain the 6 points of political causes. Now, one is called subsidiary alliance. Cheated kings lost trust. How will you explain? First, you learn how will you explain as a point of political cause. Subsidiary alliance was one of the reason of the political dissatisfaction was subsidiary alliance. According to subsidiary alliance, the British cheated the Indian kings because he deceived Indian kings and took their kingdoms in their own empire. So Indian kings lost trust and revolted against the British. Again, I am telling you, subsidiary alliance made Indians dissatisfied because according to it, Indian kings were cheated, their kingdoms were taken away in British Empire, so they lost trust and protested or revolted. ये हो गया आपका एज ए पॉलिटिकल कॉज आप एक्सप्लेन करोगे. अब दूसरे टाइप का क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, व्हाट डू मीन बाय सब्सिडियरी and how was it unsuitable for Indians? So now I'm going to explain. Subsidiary alliance was a method adopted by the British to help militarily to Indian kings. Or subsidiary alliance was a step taken by the British to give military help to Indian rulers on some conditions, right? Conditions where the king who used to sign the alliance had to pay, had to accept that British army will be paid by him. I mean, the cost, expenditure, expenses, maintenance cost will be borne by the Indian kings first. Second, the king had to accept that one resident, one officer, European officer, would station will be in their court to see their court activities. Two. Third was what? They were not, I mean, the Indian kings were not allowed to set up any relation with any European countries. There are many provisions, but here in your book that is sufficient. And according to which, what used to do, the British made Indian rulers dependent on their army. Naturally, the Indian rulers became very weak, right? And the conditions also made them weak. And when they used to be very weak, their kingdoms were taken away by the British, and Indian kings were helpless because they were militarily very weak. It happened also, best example is Nawab of Awadh, Wazid Ali Shah. He had signed subsidiary alliance with the British, but after some years what happened? The British made or leveled allegation that Wajid Ali Shah was unfit to give proper rule or good rule or administration in his kingdom, so that his kingdom was taken away by the British. And Nawab Wazid Ali Shah could not do anything because he was unable to fight against the British due to very weak army. I think you have understood. If not, again you can raise your hand. Now, next is economic causes. The policy of economic exploitation, right? The policy of economic exploitation and distraction, economic distraction was also very very uh, unjust for the Indians. First, you will write in this way, economic causes. The policy of economic exploitation and destruction adopted by the British made Indians unhappy. Next, Zamindari system was launched in which peasants were exploited on large scale. They became very poor and they annoyed with British. Next, the peasants under this economic policy had suffered a lot. They were tortured during the collection of revenue, and in case of failure, they were jailed. So they wanted to end the British rule. Next, there was the loss of Indian trade and industries because of the British machine-made goods flooded in Indian markets. What does it mean? Europeans brought many products of their countries in Indian markets to sell. Indian goods could not compete with the British goods because British goods were cheaper and finer because of making in machine, because of made in machine. So there was a great loss, heavy loss of Indian markets, Indian goods. Indian traders and merchants suffered a lot. So they wanted to revolt against the British. Right? Next case, many princely states were taken away under British rule by force. There was no prince or kings to take care of their own people. So unemployment and poverty increased in such persons, and they annoyed against the British rule. One example I am giving you, how did unemployment and poverty increase when the princely states' power was seized? Actually, what happened, one best example. As you know, when Wajid Ali Shah, I mean, Awadh was taken under the British rule, the Nawab army was disbanded. I mean, they were removed from the post. Naturally, they would be unemployed. So unemployment increased on large scale. Second, there were many uh, artisans, craftsmen who used to make their products to sell in the court of the kings or the novels and the prince or kings. In lack of the princely state, their buyer groups lost away because there was no earning power, I mean buying power in the removed noble groups or the princes. That is why unemployment, poverty, along with poverty also increased. You know, in the permanent settlement, when tax was very high and it was collected by force by the zamindars and the British, many Indian farmers left the farming. They became unemployed and poverty increased. So these were there. But in short, you have to explain all these points. Okay. Now I am going to unmute you all. If you have any problem, you can ask.